Hi, Donny Dave here. I'm in an Airbnb in a little village called Sutton Valence, which is near Maidstone in Kent, and I've just set off on my big off-road European trip. It's big for me anyway, and this is the trip that I've been kind of working up to. I've done a trip round Scotland on my own, North Coast 500 for a week. I've just done a trip to France around the Normandy beaches and over to Belgium again for a week on my own, and I've done some TET in the UK on my own, several trips, a few multi-day trips. So I've kind of worked up to travelling on my own, travelling off-road on my own, and I've been working towards doing a European trip. I'm going to do this on the CRF, and that's the reason why I'm stopping here about an hour away from the Channel Tunnel, because I've got some new Michelin trackers on the bike, and I didn't particularly want to start scrubbing them off on the motorways, so I decided to do a non-motorway route. It's basically been an 8-hour ride to get down here. So I didn't want to try and do the crossing and get away from Calais in one day. It's just too much when you kind of stuck to 55-60 on the CRF. I decided not to camp on this trip because of all the gear that I've got to carry, but I've still got two of these crash bar bags, which are basically full of tools, fluids like oil and chain oil, washing up liquid, all that sort of stuff. Inner tubes, puncture stuff. Also, I've made this new, well, I haven't made the toolbox, I've bought a cheapo generic toolbox off Amazon, and I've made the brackets that hold it on. So there's one bracket here that fastens onto the helmet holder, another bracket here that drops down from the seat fixing, and then another bracket at the back here which drops down from the rear rack mounting, triangulated across to the other side. So I'm hoping that that's pretty solid, because what I found was, with the weight of the luggage on the bike, the old toolbox snapped and broke the plastic, and I've had to repair that under here. I've had to make some alloy plates, aluminium plates, and rivet them in to repair the plastic. So I'm hoping this toolbox, which holds a bit more stuff, will take the weight of the luggage, and it's completely untested, which is typical of me, so we'll have to see how that one goes as well. The Pyrenees route itself, the route just follows the border, crisscrosses between France and Spain and goes through Andorra. I think it's 1160 kilometres long, and on the official ACT video they do it over 5 days. But they're like organised Germans and stuff, and they start at 7:30 on a morning, and that's just not that's just not me. I'm not a morning person. I like to go out for a few pints, so I can't see me getting up at 7 o'clock or 6:30 or something and doing full days like that. I'd rather just enjoy it, take my time, and do all the off-road bits which take longer, and if I have to do it over 6 days or 7 days, then that's what I'll do. So I've actually booked a one-way ticket for this trip, because I don't know how long it's going to take me to ride down to the Pyrenees, don't know how long it's going to take me to do the route, and I'm just keeping my options open. If I enjoy the trip and I haven't run out of cash and the bike's okay and there's still some rubber left on the tyres, I might go down through Spain and carry on. I don't have to get back for a certain date, so I'm going to leave it open-ended, do the Pyrenees hopefully, and then play it by ear from there. And we're going to head for the tunnel now, which I think is about an hour away, so I should have plenty of time. Well, I'm back in France. It doesn't actually seem that long since I was here, probably because it isn't that long since I was here, but I'm heading down to the Pyrenees, and that's 800 miles, so that's going to take me a few days. I don't want to go on the motorways and toll roads because I'm running Michelin trackers, and I don't want to wear the knobbles off the tyres before I get there. You can probably see how foggy it is this morning. Visibility is quite poor, and I was surprised how cold it is. I didn't really expect it to be cold. I thought the further south I go, the warmer it'll be, and I thought, apart from being at high altitudes in the Pyrenees this time of year, end of September, beginning of October, I was kind of expecting it to be warmer than it is, and I was cold all day yesterday. And I've only got like a base layer, an armoured shirt. I've got a thin micro fleece and just the outer shell of my bike jacket, and I took all the armour out of it, took the liners and everything out of it, thinking I'll be too hot. As soon as I get off road I'll definitely be too hot, and I was thinking I'll be just doing that in armour and a motocross shirt, and I thought I'd have enough layers for the coldest weather, which I thought might be higher up in the mountains, but I've kind of underestimated it. I have got another layer that I can put on that'll be like a bloody onion. Well, I'm back on the road this morning. I stopped in a B&B in Abbeville last night, and Abbeville's the place that I've stayed in twice when I've been to France previously. Just happens to be on the route and happened to be about the right distance. But I actually booked a proper B&B. I normally just go for an apartment and self-cater, but I left it till about 4:30 or so to try and book somewhere, and they ended up booking a proper B&B that included breakfast, which meant being in a shared house, having to try and make conversation in French. The lady did speak some English, which was good, but what was really good was she actually moved her own car out of her garage so that I could park my bike in the garage, which I thought was really kind of her. And she also found and booked a restaurant for me in the town. She recommended a restaurant that was reasonable price, that had got a good reputation. I don't know whether she knew them or not, but she phoned up and booked it ahead for me. And I walked into town and went to that restaurant. It was really nice, and it was reasonable price as well, so it turned out to be a good stay. So this is my apartment block for tonight. It's quite a swanky city apartment type thing, really. Not what I'm used to at all. Yeah. Nice little open plan living area with a bit of a kitchen. Bedroom to the side, TV, and bathroom. Yeah, everything you need really, and it's just a short walk into the city. Yeah, so this place is called Mainvilliers, but I think it's a suburb. The city's called Chartres, which is a cathedral city. So it might be quite nice to have a look round. I'll be going out to get something to eat anyway, so I'll probably have a look at the cathedral while I'm there. You can just about get the scale of it from here. A massive round window at the top, and all these doorways are all just covered in intricate carvings. Yeah, that's pretty impressive. Yeah, that's impressive. And this is a lovely area around the cathedral. I don't know if this is the main area for eating and so on, but it seems really nice.
currently on day 6 of my trip now, and I'm just about 160 miles from where I'm due to start the ACT ride in Cap de Cruz in northern Spain. It's taken me a day in the UK and 5 days to ride down through France. I've basically avoided all motorways and toll roads, so I've had to keep the speeds down to try and preserve my tyres for the off-road part of the ride. I did a very slight detour to call up my mate Mix, which was surprisingly close to the route. It was only about, I don't know, 40 minutes diversion each way. So I decided to call in at his house. I haven't filmed much at all on the ride. The best day was riding from Mix at Saint Laurent de Serry yesterday up to my accommodation. That was the best day as far as the roads go. Some nice twisty roads and some elevation coming in. And today the scenery has started to change, and I can see the mountains in the distance, and hopefully I'll get to the start point of the ACT ride today and certainly get across the border into Spain. I've been doing about 200 miles a day. I've been aiming for 200 miles, and I've been doing that subject to wherever I could find accommodation. So yeah, it's surprising how long it takes on a small trail bike. Well, I haven't hit the Spanish border yet, but the scenery is definitely changing. This looks totally different to most of what I've travelled through in France. There has been a little bit more elevation in the last sort of 2 days, but starting to look a little bit more hilly and forested. Wow, things have definitely changed. All you can see in the distance is mountains, and the Mediterranean is that away.
Well, I reckon I've just notched up the 1,000-mile mark, maybe a bit more. I've got 100 miles left to go. It can't be more than about 50 miles to the Spanish border, and it's definitely starting to feel Spanish now. I'm still driving through nice areas, wooded, but it's turning sort of more like scrubland, plenty of grapevines around and stuff. It's just starting to feel like I'm kind of on my trip properly now, and it's warmed up a bit. It's been really cold. You know, riding down through France, I'd underestimated how cold it was going to be this time of year, and I can't do anything about it. I've brought the gear that I've brought, but it's starting to warm up now, and I've taken a layer off. I'll probably be able to get rid of my jacket, hopefully, apart from when I'm higher up in the mountains. But yeah, hopefully the weather holds. It's been dry so far. If it holds, it could be a good trip.
I can actually see the Pyrenees now in front and over to the right. Still got another 70 miles to go, but that's definitely the Pyrenees. Now the sun's bright this morning and I'm straight into the sun. It's about 40 minutes to where I'm going to the start point, and it's forecast to be about 26 degrees today. It's a bit cooler than that at the moment, but that's what the forecast is for this afternoon, so should be a nice day. Well, you can see the mountain range all the way across there, and I'm about half an hour away from my start point now. Starting to climb a bit, but I guess I'll drop back down because I'm starting from the coast. So this is my first view of the Mediterranean, coming into Port de la Silva, about 10k away I think, but my first decent view of the sea. I've seen it in the distance a couple of times. Some nice tight bends on this road. So this must be it then. Port de Silva. Well, finally made it to Port de Silva, which is going to be my official start point for this ACT trip. It's a lovely day today. A bit breezy here, but it's nice and warm, and it's going to get hot, I think. Reckons to be 26 later on in the day. Yeah, so it's quite a nice little port town, is this? Yeah, so that'll do, and we better get on the road, I reckon. I've just swapped my phones because I used my normal phone for Google Maps to find my way here, and I've just swapped for my old phone that I generally use for navigation, and I'm navigating this using Osmand. So I'm just hoping all the settings are right and it actually works, because until you get here you don't know whether the app's going to work very well. I've used it tons of times in the UK and it's always worked alright, but I've had to clear all the information to make enough room for the new maps and stuff like that, and it seems to have cleared the settings. Anyway, I've decided not to attach it to roads to get proper directions, because I want to make sure I do all the off-road, and I don't know how they're classified over here. So anyway, it's giving me an arrow and a direction. Anyway, we'll see what happens. So time to get started, I reckon. Well, I took the opportunity to fill the bike up, but it only took €3. Filled up before I crossed the border, so it's not really used much. I just wanted to make sure I set off with a full tank. It does advise you on the website to make sure you've got a full tank every day, so I don't know if that means there aren't many petrol stations. I don't know what the range is on this bike. It's pretty good, but I don't know what it is in miles or kilometres. So I just won't pass a petrol station if I've got less than half a tank. Well, I didn't make a very good start with my navigation. I took the wrong road out of town, and it took me about a mile or so to realise the little line I was following was trying to take me back the other way. Anyway, hopefully I'll get used to it. So it's taking me straight up a twisty mountain road, so that's, at least it's a nice start. I think there's a couple of hours of road work from what I remember on the website. There is some off-road on day one, but I think I've got to ride a bit to get to it. It's a nice view over the town. Not that I want to take my eyes off the road too much. Yeah, you can see the road twisting on up the hill there, and there's like a big castle just in the distance there. I don't know if you can see that. Be a great view from that over the port, I would imagine. Yeah, this first road is absolutely fantastic. There's hardly anything on it. It's a great surface. It's mountain views and sea all around, and really tight bends. Got to be a bit careful with them. It's really climbed some in the last, I don't know, few kilometres. See the castle there now. Yeah, that's pretty impressive. Looks like a mixture of older and slightly more recent. So it looks like my first little bit of unsurfaced road. I just came through the tiniest little village and I thought it was a dead end. There was literally just a tiny single track road leading out of it, and it led onto this. So I suppose I'm going to have to get used to the fact now that I might be going to tiny little villages. Yeah, I've took a couple of wrong turns already. Sometimes you get two instructions in very close succession, and I missed the second one. Another thing that kind of strikes me now I'm sort of on an off-road section is I'll have to make sure I don't default to riding on the left, because you're just busy picking your route, and I suppose after a few miles of riding a single track like this, you'd probably just drift to the left, and if something's coming the other way, your automatic reaction will be to go left, and obviously that's wrong, so I'll have to try and bear that in mind. This is just like a little access road for either olive groves or vineyard or something, and you can just see this little village all bathed in sunlight in the distance. Really nice. These are the sort of tiny little roads you'd never come across. Now I'm back off road again. I never gave a thought to these trackers. I've never ridden on them off road before. I mean, at the moment it's bone dry and it's just gravelly, sort of slightly sandy tracks, so I haven't got any problem with traction. Any tyre would get you down these roads. You know, the standard tyres would be fine for this sort of stuff. But I can't really, you know, at the moment can't tell the difference between these and my Kenda Trackmasters, which are one of the most aggressive road legal tyres, I think. I certainly like those, but I think these have got better longevity, because obviously I've got to do a lot of miles on this trip, and it's likely to, I mean, it might be that I've got to change a rear tyre. Front one I guess would be okay for the full trip, but we'll see. But yeah, at the moment this is just the kind of light off-roading you need to sort of get into it, get your sort of confidence up. And to be honest, if most of it was like this, I'd be pretty happy, because it's fairly low stress. I've got a group of walkers or something here. I don't speak any Spanish, but they're all parting like the Red Sea or... Hola! Hola! Yeah, there we go, that's one of my 4 Spanish words. Yeah, I think it's time to get the jacket off. It's getting warm now. As soon as the road speeds are down a bit. Don't know what these are, some sort of cactus, but I don't know what the red sort of fruit is. But yeah, they seem to be vineyards that I was coming through. So that guy's just took the front end off his car. I thought it had broken down. I asked him if he wanted a push. He's tried bringing a car down here and took the front end off, hit a rock. Oh well, he's alright and the car's drivable. Not a lot of room if you find a car coming the other way. optimistic for an ordinary car though. You'd do it, but you'd have to take it steady. Don't know. To go right, I think. You usually have to ride for 100 metres and then you can tell if you've gone off the track or not. You still seem to be on the track. I thought I got lost here, but it looks like this route must take you to a point of interest. It's going to a mountain top by the look of it, so it looks like it's an optional, but I think I'll do it. I'll have a look. Why not? But this road has now turned into a dirt road, and it's just climbing up and climbing up, zigzagging up the mountain, so I don't know whether many people come by car to the viewing point. It is drivable, so they may do. Probably depends on the time of year. These roads are easy enough in the dry. Find out when I get to the top if it's full of coaches and tourists. That's what you find sometimes. You think you've done a great road, you get there, there's a bloody bus at the top of it, and you think, how the hell's he got up there? I remember once doing a river crossing and a fairly long off-road climb, and I got to the top of the hill and there was an ice cream van there, and I thought, oh, that's pissed on my barbecue. Anyway, it turned out there was a road down the other side. It was quite easy. There was only a few hundred yards of dirt track if you went the other way. But anyway, still climbing. I must be getting near the top now, and I've just come across a section that's been gravelled. It's been mainly dirt roads, and then I've come across a newly gravelled section, and then this part is actually surfaced. It's an old surface that's broken up a lot, but it was surfaced. So we can't be far off the top now. It is more like a footpath than a road. Pretty overgrown. I wouldn't want to come this far in an ordinary car, I don't think. Be alright in a four-wheel drive. There's quite a lot of fallen rocks and drainage culverts and big holes and stuff like that. I reckon this is probably the top. The radio stuff run out of road anyway. Yeah, proper run out of road. Wow, that's an epic view. Yeah, I've proper run out of road there. I'm not going down there. Damn. Oh, if I can turn round up here. Wow, that's pretty epic. You can see for miles. That was worth the trip. It was a kind of an option really, and I bet it's cost me a good hour and a bit. I don't know how long it's taken to get up there, a good half hour I reckon. And I was kind of running late with not stopping right near the beginning of the ACT route, so I had to go in the opposite direction for a bit, so it's probably cost me another hour or so.
but who cares? This is what I came for. If I don't get to today's end point, doesn't matter. Fantastic view, and it's exactly on the border. So this is France that way, and that's Spain that way, I think. And I'm pretty sure this road winding away in the distance is the one I've come up. Quite a long way on that road. Fantastic view up here though. Well, I've got two problems now. Can't believe that both of my spare camera batteries are dead. My camera's just died, and put a spare battery in, that went dead, and I thought, oh well, I've got another one. Put that in, and that's dead as well. So I'm a bit stuck for my camera. And also, straight in front, you'll see it says the road's closed. I've just stopped and spoken to a lady in French. I've no idea whether she's French or Spanish. I don't know where I am. But she seemed to understand, and she said I'll get through on a motorbike. So I'm going to try and charge one of the phone batteries, one of the camera batteries in the camera off the bike for a bit. And then if there's anything I really want to film, I'll have to do it on this 360. But I can't get any sound on that one, because if I use the mic, the external mic that I've got, it cuts off all the camera sounds. It's just totally silent unless I'm talking, so it doesn't pick up anything else. So with the helmet on and no mic, there'll be no sound, but it's better than nothing. I'll be a bit disappointed if there isn't any more off-road today. There's been a fair bit, but if I hadn't have done the optional bit that I did up to the top of that mountain and back, there would have only been one long section at the beginning of the day, really. I would have hoped for a bit more, but I mean, the roads are brilliant, there's no doubt about that. These roads with the switchbacks are great, so maybe if it's not off-road, at least it's good roads. Right, I'm going to see if I can get through this closed road, otherwise I'm knackered. I've just pulled over into a lay-by to look for some cables down there. Just pulled over into a lay-by to look for some accommodation, and it looks like I'm going to make it to Set Cases, which is the place where day one officially ends. But
It's a bit difficult to go with the arrival time on the app, because I know that some of it might be off-road, and there's a big difference if it's working it out at whatever the speed limit is technically on the road. It'll be a million miles out if you start getting off-road. I've found that in the UK. So I'm not convinced that the time on the sat-nav on the Osmand is anything like the time I'm going to get there, but it's not a long way in terms of mileage. So it's about 40 miles, but it's saying something like an hour and 40 minutes. So it depends on what that 40 miles is made up of, I guess. You know, if it's dirt tracks, it can take a while. So anyway, I found some accommodation, and it's another hostel. Only downside is it's a shared bathroom, but it's €50 for a double room. Didn't have any single rooms left. But the official ACT partner hotel looks like a pretty posh place, and looks a bit pricey for me. So I was alright with that hostel last night, and this one's part of a restaurant, Argentinian, which I've had once before, I think. So yeah, I'm going to give that a go. Try and keep the cost down where I can, and then if I get a situation where I've really got no choice and I've got to pay 100 odd quid for a hotel room, then at least it'll balance out a little bit. Looks like we're heading into those mountains, which doesn't surprise me, because set cases where I'm stopping is a ski resort in winter. So I don't know how high it is, but I guess it's reasonable altitude. So I expect to be heading uphill really. This nice little village with the little stream running through it, just nestled in the hills. Don't know what everybody does for a job. It's just in the middle of nowhere really, but it's nice. This looks like a brand new road, and I've just passed a sign that says snow chains mandatory, presumably after a certain date or in winter. Yeah, it's a lovely road surface is this one. I've just checked my phone when I pulled over, and I've got an email from the hotel confirming my reservation, but it says check-in time up to 5:30. Well, that's a bit of a bummer. It's a bit early. I mean, it didn't say anything on the advert that you could only check in up till 5:30. I mean, my ETA as it happens is about 5:05, so I should be in time for that. That can't be right. I mean, I was hoping to call off and fuel the bike up for tomorrow and get some beer in, or some lunch for tomorrow, a sandwich or something. Although I don't think there's a fridge in the room. Yeah, so I might have to go straight there and check in and then nip back out again, which I didn't really want to do, but I suppose I can get the luggage off the bike. Yeah, this has turned into a gravel road. Weird. It's gone from a brand new tarmac road to a gravel road. Maybe they're upgrading it. Now this is a nice track, just along the edge of the ridge. Pretty nice views. The cows with the cowbells on, just grazing at the side. They're like goats going up these tracks. A couple of cows here. I reckon they've stopped to look at these cows. Actually, they are nice cows. Where's this one going? Oh, the cows have blocked the road. He's gone down the ditch. Little 4x4. He was staring me out. Yeah, that cow's playing chicken with that little whatever it is. Oh, that was a nice clean stream. Yeah, I guess that'll run through the town. I'm only a couple of minutes from Set Cases now. Well, I'm just coming into Set Cases now. I'm not gonna follow the route because I think that'll go to the official hotel. It's only a little place, and it does say that my hotel's in the centre as well, so I'm not sure whether the official one is. I'll get my Google Maps if I need to, but it can't be very far. Can't be that hard to find. There's loads of little hotels and restaurants around here, so I don't know which is mine, but I'll have a mooch around, otherwise I'll look at the map. There we go, La Escuela. Now this is the hostel, the bar area anyway. Estrella Dam on draft, so, and a coffee machine, restaurant in there. What sound was that? Looks bang on. Looks a really nice village as well. Well, I've booked into my hostel. It's great actually. It's a nice place. It's part of a restaurant. This is the room. It's only a small room and the toilet's just down the corridor. That's shared, but I can live with that. Just had a panic. I thought I'd lost my phone and I left it in the bar while I was booking in, and the restaurant's closed, so I couldn't easily get to it. Anyway, that's sorted. So yeah, I'm booked in and sorted out.